Hello everyone, I am Richa Serra. Once again, I am live with you at Responsible Hospitals. So, today again, we are with you on a very important topic which is about the reproductive health of a woman. As you all know, that woman body goes through a lot of things and there are a lot of harmonical changes. I think there is something which we need to talk about today. So I would have my guest, Dr. Rahul Manchanda, who is a gynec endoscopic surgeon, and he will be telling us most of the precautions and tips about the whole reproductive system of a woman. So here we go, and I'm going to add him. So Dr. Manchanda is going to talk about the overall woman reproductive health system, and we would be talking to him very soon. Let's wait for a minute, and I think I would be able to add him soon. We are just trying to connect with each other. Team, if you are there, I'm trying to connect with him. Hello. Dr. Rahul, you there? Guys, I'm just trying to connect with him. It's just that there's a connection error in terms of his side. Dr. Rahul, if you can just see me and hear me, maybe you can just try to change your place to get good network so that we can start our talk. Yeah, I'm trying to add you again. I hope you can see me and hear me what I'm saying. There's a network issue, Dr. Rahul. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Rahul. Are you able to see me and listen to me? Dr. Rahul? Guys, I'm just trying to connect with him. So we need to wait for a minute. Dr. Rahul, there is a big network issue and I can't see you. I mean, I can see you blurry, but then if you can just change your place, that should work. I can't hear you at all. Dr. Rahul, can you see me? If you can see me, just probably if you can chat with me, you can just write because I can't hear you at all. Maybe you can just take your seat and we can start. Yeah, even I can see you, but I can't hear you at all. Probably you can just sit somewhere and then we can start because I can't hear you at all. There's some issue. Good evening, Himanshu. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining our live session. We will be starting soon. It's just that there's a network issue which we have to sort it out first. No, I can't hear you, doctor. That's what. Probably if you can just send me the request again and let's try that way. I can see you though, but not very clearly. But I can't hear you at all. Can you try connecting with me once again? Hello, Dr. Rahul, I can't hear you still. Maybe you can just reconnect with me. Just sign off and you can just try again. Guys, he'll be right back with us. By the time he joins back, if you have any questions regarding the reproductive health of a woman, I would want every one of you just write your question in the comment box. So I'll pick up your questions one by one. And you know that a woman's body go through a lot of things, a lot of changes, through the pregnancy, through menopause. So there are so many things which we should talk about today. And we have a right doctor with us who will be heading the conversation, and he will be giving us a lot of insights about it. So that would be really great. If you have any questions regarding the same, you can just put that in the chat box. And it's gonna be a very interesting session. So guys, if you have your sisters, mothers, your wife or fiancés, probably you can just be right here in this presentation, in this session, and we will be talking about it soon. So team, I'm just trying to reconnect with him because there was a network error and he's just trying to sort that out sooner. So as soon as he comes back, we'll start a session. We'll begin soon, and you can just start writing your questions in the chat box. Yes. So today's topic will be about women's reproductive system. As you know that the women's health goes through a lot of changes in life, and they pass through a lot of hormonal changes and a lot of things they get through when they get pregnant, when they conceive. So a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of thoughts, different thoughts about it. Let's say, these days everybody would want to conceive, every most of the women, they would want to conceive after 30s. And if there are any problems or challenges on that, or probably if they do not want to conceive, if they do not want to have any kid in their life, in that case also, if there are any uh, problems maybe at the later life, so we will be talking about all those things in today's session. So in case any of you who would have such questions and thinking about planning a child, or maybe thinking not to have a child sooner or later, probably can put up your questions right here, because this is the platform wherein we are free to talk about these things. And I think this is something which every woman should know, and so that if there are teenagers, they can also start understanding these facts. These are very this is very basic and crucial information that every teenager should also know, so that they can take the precautions even at the early stage in case they have any other different kind of plans. So that's going to be more insightful session, and I think people who are joining this session will be really happy to join it. And at the end of the session, I would see that it will really bring up a lot of things for you, a lot of insights. So team, if you can just try connecting with him, because I can't still see him. Initially, I was trying to connect with him. Maybe he's trying to change his place so that we can talk well. Initially, we were able to see each other, but then I couldn't hear him at all. So I'm just waiting for him to add, and probably we'll start the session sooner. Guys, if any of you know any teenager, if you are a teenager, or if you are trying to know any facts about women reproductive health, and if you are planning to get married, if you are planning to have a child, you can just start putting up your questions in the chat box. Thank you. I'll just start taking the questions. So thanks everyone for your patience. You always come here, join this session, and I'm always thankful to you, because it's really gives us a lot of happiness to see that there are so many viewers who are watching us, and they are, getting more aware about. Team, if you can just try connecting him once again, because I haven't received his request yet. Initially, I did, but not right now. Okay, I will try to add him. Guys, I'm trying to add him. Just a second so that we can start our live chat. Guys, wait a second. Yes, I have. I'm adding him now. So let's see if I'm able to do that.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Rahul. Yeah,
Hi, good
can you hear
evening.
me
Can you hear
now?
me? I can
Yes,
hear
I
you. Can
can.
you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for all the.
Perfect. That's okay. That's all right. For Insta Live is something new, and people are just trying to understand it more, and the network is also uh, on it. So it's all right. We can just begin the session now. So first of all, I would like to welcome you, Dr. Rahul, that you have given your time on this topic, and it is a brilliant topic to talk about the women's reproductive health system. So Dr. Rahul Manchanda is a senior gynec and endoscopic surgeon. This is how I would like to start with, and today we will be talking about the women's reproductive health system as it goes through with a lot of harmonical changes, lot of other changes when they conceive. So before that, so we will be talking about all those things today. So welcome to this session, Dr. Rahul. And to begin with, if you can just talk about what you think, how important it is to know about what a reproductive system is and how it is more important to get ourselves aware about it on the initial stage.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me here. Thank you for the whole team and you. It's a pleasure to be here, especially to be able to talk about these things which we don't really
Sure.
speak very much about. And you see, even just saying reproductive system according to me is selling yourself short, because it's not all about reproduction, it's about women's health. That's the important thing. And really what, when you spoke to me and you said, because when we talk about reproduction, we're looking at only producing babies, and that's not the
Right.
only function. It's about keeping oneself healthy and keeping these organs healthy. And the woman, by and large, why do we need to have a different session is because physiologically, anatomically, uh, it's completely different to other systems as well as the male species. And looking after the health is most important. And which is why we need to have a different session. We talk about it differently. It's not, like I said, about reproductive health, but it's about every the women's health in general, whether it's right from the mental makeup to the physical aspect to the aspect of hygiene and also reproduction. It entails everything.
Sure. Sure, doctor. And since you just mentioned about this word, hygiene, how do you think how important it is to have a proper understanding of hygiene so that, you keep yourself well always? And I still think that a lot of people are not keeping a watch on the hygiene factor. Still, I mean, what do you mean by hygiene exactly? what all the criterias are there, what all can affect them, how can they make ourselves more hygienic?
Okay, so hygiene would mean basically cleanliness. And when you say cleanliness, especially in today's day and age, hygiene is very important with the COVID coming in. You're looking at keeping yourself safe from infections, and that's the most important thing. So, hygiene per se would mean keeping yourself away from infections. It would entail not only safe practices as far as cleanliness goes, whether it is while we go to the washroom, whether it is general eating of a healthy diet so you keep infections away, whether it is going regularly to your doctor for checkups to make sure that everything is fine, whether it is looking at you know using sanitary pads and keeping a hygiene there, whether it is looking at uh, you know clothing, whether it is looking at sexually transmitted diseases. You need to look at all these things and make sure that you protect yourself, keep yourself safe from all these things, because not only do they affect you at that particular time, but they will also tell and affect your future, what we would call fertility. And again, as we talk about the reproductive system, the reproductive ability of a lady. So it's very important. And again, I'd like to stress on the fact that it's for the overall well-being of the lady. And what we must understand is the overall well-being of the lady affects the overall well-being of the family, and that affects the overall well-being of society. So this is very important. So when hygiene, we talk about the cleanliness, the safety from infections, and how to do that, whether it is by washing your hands after we go to the loo, whether it is, and people have this thing about using washes, whether it is vaginal washes. One must remember that most of these vaginal washes are, and this is another myth that I can maybe uh,
Sure.
dispel with, which is all we should not really be using all these synthetic washes. We should all you need is plain clean water after you go to the loo, and that should be from before backwards. So you maintain that hygiene, changing your clothes, especially when you have your periods frequently. The pads should be changed, because all these things will lead to um, can lead to infections if we don't maintain this sort of hygiene. So that's what we talk about when we talk about being maintaining hygiene to prevent infections.
Sure. So, doctor, you have clearly mentioned about the health issue, I mean, hygiene factors. And since you've just mentioned about a small myth, which even I wasn't aware, because we talk about a lot of these washes which have come. And I think most of the women in our society, in metros, they are using that. And I
Yes.
wasn't even aware that this is a. So, anything else you want to add on to these myths which you think people are doing it and it is not correct? Maybe that's would be a good way to talk about it. I mean, good platform to talk.
It is that we have all these fancy washes in the market, and most of them are driven by companies, but they can at times actually cause you more problems than help. So, like I said, clean water washing before backwards is more than adequate. You don't need to do extra. It can cause more
Doctor,
harm.
I'm losing your voice. Maybe just 2 3 minutes ago, wherever you were sitting, I think that was the right network area.
Okay, can you hear
I
me
guess,
now?
yeah, I could hear you now better, and I can see you
Okay.
also a little better. Yeah.
Perfect. So this is what I say when we. This is one of the myths which is very important as far as maintaining the hygiene goes. You can be sort of help yourself in maintaining your general health by having a good diet. Include most fruits, different colors fruits in your diet. A little more extra vitamin C, whether you're having citrus fruits, which will again help you. So these are things that your general well-being is very important, which we don't take care of.
Okay. So, cool. I mean, do tell us, I think, I mean, what are those factors of health wherein a woman is required, or I would say teenager should be required to see a doctor, and that should give her a hint. So they sometimes do not realize that this problem could also be a serious problem, and now this is the time they should go and check with the doctor, because when we visit to the, I mean, everybody has a myth that gynaes should be visited only when you conceive. So I would want to know what is the right time, or what is the what are the other things for which a gynae can be visited, maybe from a teenager side or maybe after that.
Okay, so you very correctly and rightly said that we look at going to a gynecologist only when we get pregnant or if we want
Yeah.
to conceive. So this is not what should happen. We should actually be visiting the person much, much, much earlier. The problems, like you say, can arise right from childhood, what we would call teenager. And I have many stories that I can tell you about young girls who have had problems, but we tend to, this is one aspect that we sweep underneath the carpet, and we don't want to talk about it, still,
True.
unfortunately. So whether the girl starts her periods early, whether she starts it late, these are things that need to be in consultation with the doctor. If you have any anxiety, you must go to your gynecologist, speak to him or her, and clarify these things. A very important thing is, again, not only the starting of the periods, which again can be explained to, and a person, especially a young girl, when she starts her period, suddenly to have blood coming, it's very frightening, and it's
True.
important to educate the person. And a lot of our ladies who are the mothers and the grandmothers are not able to explain it because their family, you don't take it that well from them. So going to a specialist at times levels everything, and it's important for us to educate them in that fashion. Besides that, pain during periods, you have, suddenly, if there's a cyst in the ovary in a young girl and she has pain, if there's a cyst there which is diagnosed, it could be threatening life, it could be threatening her ovary and hence her reproductive ability later on. There are many patients or many young girls that I have operated on who have pain suddenly come in and they find a huge twisted ovary, and we've been able to save their ovaries. So any symptom like pain, any abnormal symptom, any anxiety causing factor needs to be uh, spoken to about with the gynecologist, and then only looked at. Yes, there are hormonal problems can happen, which are again important. You have, due to the dietary habits that we have now, a lot of the girls at a younger age will have what I'm sure a lot of you know about, which is polycystic ovarian disease, in which again there is a hormonal imbalance. So your periods are delayed, they're less, you can have very heavy bleeding. But one point that I want to really speak about, and which is close to my heart, is pain during your periods. Please, we should all tell our young girls that pain during periods is not okay. We should not compromise. We should not be telling them that during periods, if you have pain, arey, why you're saying anything? Everybody has pain, just
Right, right,
bear.
right. That's the mentality that everybody would say, ये तो होता है. That's a natural thing
हाँ,
now. People have
but
accepted it.
but it should not be accepted, especially pain that for which you need to take medicines. uh, you need to see a gynecologist, you need to be ultrasound have an ultrasound, and you need to make sure you don't have something called endometriosis, because if we catch it early in adolescence, you can treat it much better, you can effect a cure much better for endometriosis. So pain during periods, uh, education as far as hygiene goes, menses goes, even sexual education, which is not spoken about. It's very important to
Absolutely.
educate our daughters uh, for all these things, that they should not compromise on these things. I've had a girl, and this was not now, but I remember her because she was 18 and she didn't have her periods till then, and she knew something was wrong, but her father and mother didn't want to acknowledge. So she dragged them to me and came to see me, and I still remember we saw her. We actually did a procedure on her, and we were able to enlarge her uterus and get her back. But it was because of the strength of this little young girl
Absolutely.
that this was
That
done.
she
So
took the
this is
initiative and pushed them
Yes,
to
yes.
you.
So this is very important. We must not think that we visit a doctor only when we're unwell. And unfortunately, what has happened in this pandemic is that we are putting our problems, which women's problems were anyway on the back burner, we're putting them further back. Uh,
Hmm.
yes, there has to be a new normal, and I would suggest don't rush to hospitals. Definitely, once you're talking now, it's, you need to.
I'm losing your voice again.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so definitely a consult on virtual modalities can be done, and only if needed, then you can visit the doctor. But these things should be taken cognizance of.
Sure. So, Dr. Rahul, since you have just mentioned about a simple thing that a pain during the periods, I think let's talk a little more about it because this hasn't opened up yet in any of our session. So, I mean, there's a frequency, that the pain is high. Some people say that I have little bit pain, which is tackleable, tolerable, and some people say I have pain in my back. So, what is right and what is not right? You just mentioned that stomach pain is not right. So, is the some people always, most of the people feel even the leg pain. So, I don't know if that is correct. So, if you can just put some light on this.
So remember, the yardstick is that anything that troubles you, anything that interferes with your daily life routine
Okay.
needs to be investigated. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're having back pain or leg pain or stomach pain, lower abdominal pain. If it is interfering in your life, and I mean actually interfering means not that you say, "Arey nahi, itna pain to I can suffer,"
Mm-hmm.
then you need to be investigated. It might be physiological, wonderful, but at least if it is something which is non physiological or what we call pathological, then we will catch it early and we can treat. And there are so many women, so many ladies, you will be surprised. 10% in the general public, and if you go to a hospital, more than 40% will be suffering from probably this problem. uh, it really is the quality of life of a lady. And you have many associations on the for this disease.
I can't hear you clearly. I can't hear you. I'm just losing
Okay,
the network again.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have many associations in endometriosis, especially Endometriosis Association of America, which is one of them. You have support groups, and when you hear their stories, there'll be ladies, girls from their teenage years to those going even later in their 40s. So it is something which is less talked about, which the awareness is not so much, and it can be even worse than diseases like cancer, because if it is not caught early, you can't really cure this. So that's
Okay.
something we need to change the thinking in all the women, that if you have pain during your periods, please go to your gynecologist. Make sure you don't have this, and make sure the pain is only physiological, and then you're fine.
Sure. And doctor, what is the right age when they should feel that this is the right age, I've got it? And sometimes I mean, still people say I've got it early. Some people got it a little late. So what is the right age that they can feel that, okay, fine, this is the right time I've got it. I don't need to consult a doctor, or maybe. if they are required.
Okay, so generally your periods will start around 12 to 15 years. Okay, but having said that, it's not that if you get it at 11 years, there's a problem. If you get it at 9 years, there's a problem. Um, so, but yes, if you don't get your periods till after 15 years, then it's a good idea to go and see a gynecologist and get an ultrasound done. No, make sure that everything is fine. But
Sure.
generally, age they say is between 12 and 15 years is when you would get your periods. But like I said, it's not hard and fast. It's not as if you get it at 11 years and 364 days, then there's something wrong with you. So, you know.
Understood. And since a teenager to a long woman journey, they have a lot of hormonal changes in their life. Does that also affect the reproductive health?
Uh, yeah, hormonal changes is normal. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But yes, if it is abnormal, if you have, like I said, we talked about something called polycystic ovarian disease. Okay, this is when you have excess of, say, the estrogen hormone, and it's really because of another hormone called insulin. And what happens in this is that the ovaries normally form multiple follicles and one of them ruptures. But in this, and the egg is released. In this problem, the egg is not released. So this can cause you problems in conceiving later on. Though the other problems that is had, which is, you tend to gain a little more weight, you become a little obese, and that's a cycle because that feeds into the problem, and you need to break that. You can have excessive hair growth, you can have acne. It does affect you in that fashion. So yes, and it's basically a lot of these diseases have come up to the fore because of our lifestyles, and they're a lot to do
Yeah,
with our
absolutely.
lifestyles, sedentary lifestyles that we have, and that's something that we need to avoid.
So, how to ensure a good reproductive health for an adult, if you can advise?
Okay, that's a very broad question, but let me try. The reproductive health. Now, let me clarify again. We're not talking about we're not talking about babies. Okay, we're talking
Yeah,
beyond babies, which means the
that's for sure.
reproductive organs. So, reproductive health, as in any health. Okay, there are three main factors. One is your what you eat, diet, and um, so diet is very important as far as that goes. Two is your exercise. Okay, so you need to have a healthy balanced diet, and you need to be active, and active means preferably outside. Okay, not inside. It has to be outside. Obviously, in today's day and age, it's a bit difficult, so we'll have to wait for the COVID to become, to go away for a little while or to become less, so that we can get back to a different normal of exercising outside. But exercise, your diet are two most important factors that we need to look at. And of course, the third thing is prevention, which is visiting your healthcare provider, which is very important, so that you are not leaving anything to chance. And in prevention, you would look at preventive tests to catch problems early so you can treat them early. And in one of those things, you would look at, of course, the routine tests that you need to do as far as any person goes, and specifically in a lady, you would look at doing a pap smear, which is very important.
Absolutely. Sure. So, doctor, do tell us what are the options available for a woman medically, and if she doesn't want to get pregnant.
Okay. Um, we used to we have what we call the cafeteria approach. Okay, which is we would tell the various options and then let the woman choose herself. So the options generally are anything from, if she doesn't want to get pregnant, are anything from what we call barrier contraception, which would be things like condom. You must, of course, the male condom, but then you have the female condom, which is now available. You have oral contraceptive pills, which you need to take regularly, cyclically, to avoid pregnancy. You can have other medicines like injections, which come, and implants, which are put underneath the skin. And then, of course, once you've finished and had your family, then you have what we call the permanent prevention, which is by sterilization. But each person is different, okay? Each person is different, each lady is different. You have the intrauterine devices that can be put in to prevent a lady from getting pregnant. But each patient is and each lady is different. So, in a young girl who's not had a family, you would tend to give barrier contraception and also put her on contraceptive pills, and then take it from there. Both of them have the added advantage of preventing you from infections, which is so important. And I have two young daughters, still very young, but giving them the advice of how to prevent pregnancies as well as prevent infections is something that we need to impart more than handing them, any material thing. It's important to give them the education of basic education, but also education about health and how to take care of them. It's very important, as equally as giving them information of how to handle their finances.
Sure. So, just adding to this, doctor, in case a woman decides that she doesn't want to have a baby, does that also affect them in their health system? Do you think that also has some problem maybe later on?
Okay, so no, we must realize that the basically the ovaries, which are the hormone producing, female hormone producing organs in the lady, there are the estrogen and there is the progesterone, which are the two main hormones. It is the estrogen, and these, according to age, will go up and down, whether we like it or not, because there is a certain biological clock which we need to understand, and that's how the body is made. So, whether we like it or not, the estrogen and the best reproductive time in a lady to have a baby is the 20s and the 30s, okay? But as things go, um, a lot of us want to plan our family, and there is nothing wrong in that, because women are doing much more and they should do even more. So there are techniques by which we can plan our babies and have our babies at a later age, uh, you know as they would like to do their careers first. And we get a lot of ladies who are now conceiving at a later stage, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't affect their health at all. It will not affect their health. Their health will always depend on, like I said, the three factors, which is your diet, your
Diet,
exercise, and your
exercise.
preventive. Yeah, that's what's important. But with the assisted techniques, they can definitely plan to have their babies later on. And we do have people, a lot of the where we live in the urban situation areas, they want to plan their babies, and they do also in a later stage of their life. So that can be done. It doesn't really affect their health as such. But if they have their babies later on, then we need to. It has to be a little more monitored as far as the pregnancy goes. They have a little chance of having other um, medical diseases along the way, but that would be as a part and parcel of any aging process.
Sure. And doctor, what are the reproductive organs which majorly gets affected by menopause?
Okay, now menopause is basically um, when the when periods stop. Okay, that's what
Right.
people understand, and that really happens actually because the ovaries stop producing the hormones.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's what we call menopause. Um, uh, we need to realize that this estrogen, and I keep telling all the ladies, is actually better than diamonds. Okay, it's what runs the whole body. So there is no organ in our body that is not affected by estrogen. Everything, whether it is your skin, your eyes, your nails, your hair, your heart, your pancreas, your uterus, everything, the urinary system is affected by estrogen. So with age, when the ovaries stop functioning, these estrogens will go down and it will affect the whole body. But this is not a disease. Please remember, menopause is not a disease.
Right.
Pregnancy is not a disease. It is a physiological process that happens in the woman's body that we need to be prepared for by educating ourselves what changes can come so that we can deal with it. So yes, estrogen go down and every part of the body will be affected. It's again another myth to say that women are not affected by heart disease. In 10 years into some kind of heart disease, मेरे को एक charger चाहिए, charger जल्दी से. So sorry, my phone is getting discharged, so I'm going to get a charger. Um, so um,
That's okay.
so you need to be prepared for it. The problems that can happen, your skin, there will be thin on the skin, you can bruise it sooner, you will have what we call the most famous symptom, which is your uh, hot flushes, which will come, but they generally tend to revert in about 1 or 2 years. You need to know how to deal with them. That's important.
If you can just give some tips how to handle it or how to deal with it.
It depends on the symptoms you're having. If it's suppose hot flushes, you need to realize that you need to wear looser clothing. You need to wear more cotton clothing. You need to decrease your coffee, have less hot, spicy foods. Definitely, exercise is very important. You need to do that exercise, keep yourself fit, both physically as well as mentally. That's important. So, avoid infections, have more fluids. These are the things that you would have a good balanced diet. Increase soya in your diet, phytoestrogens, we call them. So, you can increase them in your diet. And these will provide that low level of estrogen that you need for the body functions to go and to reduce the symptoms that you get. But these are some tips that you can do. But being active, exercising, a good diet is of primary importance.
I think I totally agree with you because I think we have done so many sessions and on different topics, and at the end we usually conclude on that exercise and the good diet and prevention is something which is the key to live a good and healthy life, key to live a good and happy life, I would say.
Yes.
So that's seriously very important. I do understand. I think our viewers are also understanding the same. So I have my two last questions. Please share some tips for women's reproductive health, if you can.
Women's reproductive health, well, if you're looking at producing, again, you need to be, the basic tips are the same, which is a healthy diet and exercise. Um, you should avoid being obese or excessive weight. That's the important thing. It will cause major problems not only in conceiving but with your basic health also. So you need to be as lean as you can, and that will come only by a good diet and a good exercise regimen. And of course, catch anything before it becomes worse. Visit your gynecologist once every year. It's very important. It's like a bad pill. Go and get it done. And definitely, you've not asked me, but I'll tell you, pap smear is something that you need to have done every year, which is something which is, everybody, it's not obviously the best thing to have. It's a little uncomfortable, but it can be one of the biggest lifesavers for women in our country by preventing or by catching abnormal cells in the cervix.
Absolutely, absolutely. And doctor, what are the age-wise risks for women reproductive health and how to manage them?
Age-wise risk for women's, well, again, you're looking at, we've gone through the adolescent years, we've gone through the childbearing years, which would be 20 and 30. You are
Right.
looking at really, again, when you go to post-menopause, you're looking at
I'm losing your voice again. I can't
Okay.
hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
No,
Hello?
not now.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
you can hear me. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
in the menopausal age, you're looking at increase in cancers. That's the important thing. So you need to prevent and make sure that you don't have those things, because especially people who are if they have any abnormal bleeding once they've stopped menopause, they need to be investigated and made sure there's nothing there. Pap smears, like I said. And one important thing is, when you're in your younger ages, from 10 to 40, you need to take the cancer cervix vaccine. That's very important. It's on a lot of the immunization programs abroad. So you need to take that, and even pediatricians are giving it. From the age of 10, there are two vaccines, and there are three doses that you need to take. But it's very important to take it. So please give it to all your friends, all your little girls that you know who are from the age from 10 to 40. It's
okay.
something that should be given and is very important.
So that is the best age you are suggesting
Yeah,
for
for
the
the vaccine.
vaccine, right?
That's right.
Sure. No. And doctor, just to end this, I would like to know, since we have spoken about menopause, any right age when you say this is the right time that it got stopped, or because lot of,
Okay.
since you just mentioned it correctly, that lot of women, they get more problems once the menopause stops. So what is the right age when they say that it has happened at the right age? Or some people say that I have got a little early, so this is the reason I have these many problems and all that.
Okay, now again, menopause means, like I said, stopping of periods because the ovarian function stops.
Right.
Generally, in our ladies, it occurs from the age around the age of 45, 47 and a half is what they say in our country. So that means, in an average lady who lives by statistics up till the age of minimum 71 or around 71 average, you're actually looking at 25 years in that age group, age group. And it is
I am not able to hear you.
okay. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes. No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So an average lady would spend about 25 years in this age group, which is the menopausal age group. So around the age of
Yes.
47 and a half to 71. So that's what they're looking at. If it happens early, it needs to be investigated. Why? Sometimes it can happen in their 30s also because of certain diseases. But if they keep bleeding around the age of 50, they need to be investigated to make sure everything is fine. And that would mean going to your
Yeah.
gynecologist and getting an ultrasound or whatever it is. They should examine and see. But yes, it does sometimes. If your mother has had their periods and later, generally the daughters might also follow the same trend, but that should not be taken as normal. It should still be investigated by a gynecologist to make sure everything is fine. And as far as problems starting in the menopausal age group goes, well, uh, it is another phase of life. We need to know the problems that can happen. It's happening because the estrogen is going down, and then you can deal with them. So you will have repeated urinary infections, you will have vaginal infections, you will have bone loss, you can have more prone to fractures. So then you need to have a good diet, maybe put supplements in your diet of certain medicines like vitamins and all, and deal with it. Like I said, exercise, which will keep your bones strong, keep your mental health level going. Also, at the same time, children normally leave you, go outside for their studies or get married. So psychologically, this age when you leave your job, you have less to do. Your friends are also older, they're not able to meet you. So it is a time when both mentally, physically, things are changing, and it's very difficult to adjust to. But having hobbies, being active, looking for other interests in life, um, is very important to keep you both mentally and physically well.
Right, absolutely. So thanks for such insights, and it was really great interacting with you, doctor. I think a lot of insights and learnings for me also. Thank you so much, and we may meet again virtually.
Th- Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
much
you
for
for
your time.
having me. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it was pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.